I suspect there's a bit of a misunderstanding concerning the yogic power of materialisation. It's a popular belief that yogis can materialise things out of the air. But I think this is a naive misunderstanding of the yogic teachings. Consciousness is materialising all the time. We experience this materialisation called the world from moment to moment. Just as things materialise in a dream. The dream is reality, it's concrete during the course of the dream. It's only afterwards that we divest it of its concreteness and say it was all only a dream. But at the time it's real. At the time it's concrete. There might be differences between the dream and our waking state in the sense that we might actually walk through doors in a dream. But most of the time in a dream we actually open doors. We actually have to go up and down stairs. We walk along streets even though we can fly. But most of the time in dreams it's just as concrete and just as real as the waking state. But we take that concreteness back from the dream. We don't give it that privilege anymore. We take back the memory of materialisation. We take back the memory of concreteness. Vasistha continued. This world exists with all its objects as the very meaning of materialisation of the infinite consciousness. It's our consciousness which imbues everything with this sense of matter. Hence even the form, its seeing and the thought concerning it are all the same pure consciousness and nothing else. So we construct the idea that there's something to be seen and that there's a process of seeing it. And there's actually an object which we can consider. This is the process of cognition. But it's all a story. It's not a story that holds up under investigation. The diversity of dream objects is a dream, not diversity. Everything that exists in a dream is of the nature of a dream, whether it's your friend, a table, the space in between. They're all of the nature of a dream. They're not different things. There's an apparent diversity, but they are all dream nature. Even so, the diversity that is seen during the waking state in the infinite space is the infinite space. It's the infinite space of consciousness, and there is no diversity. All of this is created by our mind. Even the story that is created by something outside our mind is created by our mind. It is the indivisible consciousness that has the appearance of diversity. That's the nature of consciousness, as university. The reality of consciousness is experienced differently by the wise and by the ignorant. The ignorant are those that insist on their stories. The ignorant insist that there's a world out there. And our consciousness, our awareness is just shining a light on it here and there. There's actually no evidence for that whatsoever. We've got stories which will say back it up. But when you start looking into these stories, they don't reveal anything of substance. You can either go along with your stories or not. What we're engaged in here is inquiry. And we've been looking into these stories. Look into the stories of an external world, of a you, a personality, and all the rest of it. It's all only appearance. And the extent to which you want to hang on to these stories is ignorance. Let go of them and experience reality as the wise do. And that's to rest in the nature of your own awareness, the nature of infinite consciousness. Hence this creation is said to be both unreal and real. Since their viewpoints are diametrically opposite, it becomes impossible for one to see what the other sees, and they cannot make one another understand what they see. Creation is what one sees and is aware of, and this is within oneself. It's within consciousness. When this inner experience is lasting, the creation is said to be lasting, and when it is changing, the creation is said to be changing too. In dream, the objects are really immaterial and subtle, yet they are seen to be substantial. Even so, the objects in this creation are truly subtle and unseen, yet they appear to be solid and perceptible. This is true even of the body. It is a delusion and non-existent as such, but like a ghost it is conjured up as a reality. It's a bundle of notions. Even psychological or physical conditioning is an appearance, like the sound that is heard when the wind blows. And this sound is heard, though it's not actually there, it's not caused by anything banging against something else. It's like the sound of thunder, this earth-shaking sound. It's actually caused by the electrical discharge of the lightning superheating the air very quickly, and this causes compression in the air, which we experience as sound. But there isn't actually anything there which is banging together. Sound isn't being created in the way we normally think of as sound. Whatever is seen here or thought of to exist, all that is pure consciousness alone. There has never been a reason why something else should have come into being. Hence realize, I am at peace. I am like the infinite space. You are the infinite space. The infinite space of consciousness. Abandon the notion that you are the jiva, that's the limited individual. If one cannot thus redeem oneself, there are no other means, for one is one's own friend and one is one's own enemy. You have to go with your own convictions. And if you can develop the conviction that your convictions aren't what you thought they were, well then you're on the way to liberation. Strive to liberate yourself while you are yet young with the help of pure and right understanding or buddhi. Do it now. It doesn't matter whether you're young or old. Do it now. What will you do when you are old and senile? Old age itself is a burden. You cannot carry anything more. Both childhood and old age are useless. Youth alone is the right time, if you are a wise one, to live wisely. Having come into this samsara, where life is so impermanent, one should, through association with holy scriptures and holy men, endeavour to uplift oneself. Rather than uplift oneself, I would say just aright yourself. Get your perspective sorted. When the truth is realised, the subjective universe ceases to bother you, even if it continues to be seen, and even if it is full of restlessness. This is when you realise the nature of consciousness. Don't make any excuses to put it off. It's something that can be turned to at any moment, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what your mood.